Hey, welcome to New Moon Wellness. I'm Shar, and today's flow is to help support the body through the final phase right before your period, the luteal phase. This is when we experience mood swings, body tenderness, and of course, lower energy levels. So I crafted a flow that's gentle and restorative to cater to those things exactly. So grab your mat, find a spot, and let's get started. And today we're going to begin our practice in child's pose. So grab your pillows, blankets, a bolster if you have one. If not, a pillow or blanket rolled up work just fine. And let's sit down on our heels, come all the way down into that perfect restorative child's pose that we all love. Start by breathing in deeply and exhaling out fully. Letting the air come in and expand the belly and slowly release through the lips. Open up the knees and the legs as wide as you'd like so that belly can have enough room to expand. And let's just breathe as we shift from one phase, the ovulation phase, into this luteal phase, which is the phase I'm in right now. The phase right before your period. When your boyfriend is sometimes the most annoying, your boyfriend or girlfriend. And let the body start to relax, really become one with the mat. Start to let gravity pull you closer to the earth. Perfect. And go ahead, inhale, look up. And let's come on our bellies, extending our legs back behind us, coming into a Sphinx pose. Just resting on our forearms. Slowly letting that breath enter our body and exit slowly with intention. Which today's intention for this phase is to reflect inward, to go within. So that's exactly what we're doing, just taking time to really ease in to this phase. And we're going to lift this left leg and bend right into the knee, keeping that foot flat almost as if it's pressing on the floor. Just coming into a variation of a half frog. And this is when you can grab your pillow or stack one arm on top of the other and just lay the head down. Letting that left side of the hip open up. Let the body relax. Let your mind start to come into this present moment, this right here and right now. And just breathe. It becomes so much easier when you just let it flow. We're going to hold this pose for about another minute and a half. Let's shift sides and bring that left leg back again. Over to the right, bending into that right knee. And lower it down. And let's start to come back into that Sphinx pose. Right leg comes back underneath us, adjusting yourself as needed. And we're going to extend our arms in front of us, using our fingertips as a kickstand, and come into seal pose, just really pushing up through the fingertips, arching that back, keeping that nose elevated, not too high, just elevated enough. Breathe in here. Exhale, release. And let's come into a tabletop, back flat, hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. Really get adjusted so you can kind of feel that connection. Hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips, toes untucked. And keep going, drop the belly, carve the nose up, coming into a cow position. Exhale, dome the spine, chin to chest. And back again. And with this, we're just going to kind of rock back and forth in this cow position, and then rock back and forth as you move into cat. Just use your own breath and also use what feels good to you in this moment to guide what kind of dance you're going to do between cow and cat. Come back into that neutral spine. Center the left hand into the middle of the mat and reach up overhead with the right. Take a full cartwheel with that arm and do it again. Lifting it up, overhead, back, and come down to the mat. Center that right hand to the middle of the mat and lift up on the left side. Come back behind you, full circle. All you have to do is just tap the mat and keep going into that circle one more time. Perfect. And we're just going to windshield wipe the legs before we come back into a seated position. And this is where we're going to use our bolsters or our pillows and stack them however feels comfortable to you. If you have blocks, you may want to grab those as well. You could just pause it and come back. You can take your time. What we're going to do is come into a variation of what's called a deer pose. And I absolutely love this pose. So we're going to stagger the legs on the mat. Right leg is bent, same by the left leg directly behind it. And scoot up so your hip is kind of aligned with your bolster And underneath it, I placed my pillow so I can have enough space because we're going to lie down. And so kind of that elevated position, and you'll see. So from the hip, breathe in and exhale, come down on your side, resting your right ear on that pillow, legs still staggered. And sigh out through the lips, making any sound you wish. I know you want to. This is one of my most favorite positions that I learned from my yoga teacher. And it's so supportive and so restorative that I had to incorporate it into the luteal phase yoga flow. Your body needs these supportive elements when you're going through these phases. So having something that you can do yourself and come back to over and over again is critical. You have to have these elements of support because sometimes it comes down to just you supporting yourself. So yoga has been one of the things for me that has really uplifted and supported me throughout all phases. We're going to stay here for a few minutes. I'll cue you when it's time to come out and reverse to the other side. But for now, just take some time to quiet your mind. Let your breath be the most active thing going in and out of your body right now. And whenever your mind starts to wander, just gently walk it back to focusing on the breath. And also feel free to adjust yourself as needed to find what feels comfortable. If you feel like you need some adjusting, you need an extra pillow, do just that so you can fully get into this position. I want you to be as comfortable and as supported as possible. And on your next inhale, place your hands on the mat. Push yourself up. And we're going to take it to the opposite side. So staggering those legs. This time the left knee is bent, followed by the right leg, knee bent. We're just going to scoot so our left side of the hip is right in contact with that bolster. And we're twisting that torso to face it, but just a gentle twist. So inhale, twist. Exhale, walk the hands, walk the body to fall on that bolster. Left ear comes down. And inhale, come on those hands, push yourself up. You can remove the bolster and the pillows, the blocks and the blankets, whatever you have. We're just going to windshield wipe our legs, kind of keeping that tailbone rooted onto the ground. So you could just maneuver the legs. And we're going to outstretch the left leg followed by the right leg. And if your legs come in a V position, that's perfectly fine. Just find where your legs want to open up to that still feels comfortable, but like a decent stretch. We're going to bring that left leg in this time. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, come over to the right side with the left hand, reach up overhead with the left arm. As close as you can. If you want to stack those fingertips onto the ground to reach up, that's perfectly fine as well. Come back up through to the center. And exhale, drop that left arm, reach up overhead on the right side. Feeling the skin stretch across the ribs. And come back up through to the center. Exhale over to the right. You got this. Wiggle the fingers here. Rotate the wrist here. Get some moist, some moisturization in those joints. Inhale, lift up, and come over to the left side. Which is truly a benefit of doing yoga, is lubricating these joints so that they can move, so that they can stretch with us, so that they're not cracking and pulling. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bring that right leg in and switch it. Left leg extends. Reach the arms up and come over on the right side. Reach up overhead with the left hand. So that's why I love yoga so much, is that the benefits are endless. Physical, mental, emotional. Left side, reach up overhead on the right. And it's just been a never-ending journey of finding myself, having that inner peace. Come back up through to the center. And exhale over to the right. Really stretch this time. Come back up through to the center. Exhale last time over to the right. And come back up through to the center. Hands come down. Right leg extends. Maybe you grab that pillow, maybe you don't. But we're going to take a deep breath in, toes pointed up to the ceiling, and just come down on our forearms onto that pillow. Drop the head. Take 3 breaths in this position. Challenge yourself to keep those toes pointed up to the ceiling, just like that. Maybe you wiggle the toes here, space them out, close them together, and look up. Walk the hands back. We're going to place our feet on the mat, same as before. Windshield wipe the legs, a counter pose to that outstretched leg position. And we're going to extend the legs, same side as the mat. Adjust yourself as needed. Take a sip of water as needed. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward bend, bending into the knees as generously as you want. Kind of find your level of comfort as you drop the head. Shake it no. Nod it yes. Let the shoulder blades expand over your back. Let the lower back have a chance to find space and to awaken. Let the front half of your body, the one that's facing the mat, pull closer to the earth. And inhale, look up. Walk the hands back towards the hips. And we're going to swing the legs out underneath us. Come into a tabletop pose. A few cat-cows. Inhaling, dropping that belly, carving the nose up. And exhale, dome the spine, chin to chest. One more time, drop the belly, carve the nose up. Exhale into cat. And this time from tabletop, back flat, we're going to bring that left leg to the front, framing that left foot, knee bent with both hands, coming into this low crescent lunge. Now, if you have a block, if you have a pillow or your bolsters, you can use that underneath that right hand to support this, and left hand comes on that knee. Find some room to expand, especially in the hips. Just try to sink a little bit deeper. During the menstrual phase, which if you're in the luteal phase like me is the next week or so after the luteal phase, you'll start to notice the hip area getting extremely tight. Well, it does for me. If it does for you, let me know, because Other people experience pain just in the abdomen, but I have it all lower half of my body. And this lower crescent lunge really helps give some space to the hips. And slightly bring that left side of the hip back just a hair. Bring the right side of the hip forward just so you can have a square, or so you can have squared hips and really get into this position. Breathe. And return the hands to the mat. Let that left foot come back into a tabletop. Switching sides. Bring that right foot in between both hands, coming into a low crescent lunge. Bring that pillow or that block on the left side of your body. Right hand can just sit right on top of that right leg and stretch into this position. Really feel that expansion in the hips. And there's no pain or pinching or pulling. You're just finding that stretch that the body is comfortable enough. And believe me, it will tell you when it's comfortable enough. And just let it flow. Exhale, return the hands to the mat. Knee comes back into a tabletop. You can move that bolster or that block. Kiss the toes together, sink it back. Wide leg, child's pose. Drop that forehead. Deep inhale in. Cleansing breath out. Let's do it again. Deep breath in. Cleansing breath out. Let's do it again. Deep breath in. Taking every last sip of air on that inhale. Exhale, release the breath. Let it flow out through the lips. And you can return to your normal cycle of breath. Inhale, walk the hands over to the left. Come back through to the center. Big breath in. And exhale, walk the hands over to the right. Inhale, come back through to the center. And inhale, look up. And we're going to move into puppy dog pose. This time, we're going to be supported in puppy dog pose with our bolster, with our pillows, with our blanket. And how you do puppy dog pose is you scoot the knees back a little, lean the top part of your torso down. Chin comes to the mat or that bolster. Inhale, rise up, walk the hands back, remove that bolster. Come back into tabletop. Perfect. Go ahead and windshield wipe the legs. Come down to an easy seated position. Extend the legs out. And extend your arms out as well. Reaching in front of you and grabbing an imaginary moon or baby or ball. Deep breath in and scooting down just a little. Exhale, release, come backwards. Still holding on to that baby, that moon, or that ball. Meet me in corpse pose. Adjust yourself. Push through the head to shimmy those shoulders underneath you. And bring the right and left knee to the chest. Wrap your arms around. Let's pick up the toes. Point the toes. Pick them up again and point them again. And let's drop that right foot onto the mat, knee still bent. Take that left foot, place it on top of the right knee, and just push that right knee away just a little tiny bit till you feel that connection with the hip. Lift the right foot and place your hands through that gap, interlacing behind the right knee. And you can take a peek at me if you need to. And you can stay here, or you can bring those legs closer to the body as you exhale. Just rock back and forth. And I invite you to try to pull your body closer to the chest and just rock. Really letting those leg muscles have space to breathe. The lower half of our body, some room to just have some comfort, have some stretch in it before we start our luteal and then our menstrual phase. Release the fingers, drop the right foot, followed by the left foot. And this time ground into the left foot, stack that right foot on top of the left knee, and we'll do it all over again. Interlace those fingertips behind the left knee. And just pull the body closer, rocking back and forth. It feels so good. Release the fingertips, drop that left foot, followed by the right foot. Bring the feet together, and then open up the knees, coming into a reclined bound angle. You can keep your hands on top of your thighs. You can keep your fist underneath where your hips and thighs connect. And 5 breaths like this. Remove your hands, outstretch that left leg, outstretch that right leg. Bring the arms, almost like you're making a snow angel, until they touch right above your head. And pull the toes, pull the hands. Exhale, release. Our final pose, Savasana, our corpse pose, where we come to really seal the practice. Really let those feelings that we brought up, that we cultivated during this practice, circulate throughout the entire body. Let's start to bring our mind and body back into the present moment. Big cleansing breath in, exhale, breath out. Let's turn over to our side, resting on that arm. Our last relaxing pose before we return to the real world. And push yourself up. Coming into our easy seated position. Deep breath, reach the arms up. Exhale, rotate those wrists on the way down. Bring the hands to heart center and bow the head. Thank you so much for joining me for this luteal phase flow. It's extremely restorative and I feel so much more relaxed and calm and kind of ready to tackle this phase that sometimes is the most difficult for me, and I'm sure everyone else who experiences my mood swings. But sometimes a practice like this is all that you need, which I really hope has helped support you. As always, subscribe to my channel, like, comment, let me know what you think about this, and I'll see you guys here on the mat next week. Peace.